Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I just wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about the mess. Baby, the last video I said that I may or may not fix me a cocktail, but I decided to make me a cocktail. So here we are, girl. Just a little tequila and some pineapple mango juice. I just shook it up, threw a little ice in it, and here we are. I'm feeling real good tonight. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the mess. So this is according to the Jasmine brand. So Nick Cannon would absolutely get back with ex-wife Mariah Carey. She don't want me. So Nick Cannon recently shared that he would absolutely reunite with his ex-wife Mariah Carey if the opportunity arose. In a light-hearted conversation with E! News, Cannon remarked, "We belong together," acknowledging that Carey is the one that got away. He added, "I'd be stupid if I wouldn't get back with her." Despite Cannon's feelings, he also confessed that Carey has no romantic interest in rekindling their relationship since their split. Do you have the one that got away, or the one that are you the one that got away? Let's listen to a small part of the conversation that Nick Cannon had.
Co-parenting with Mariah. You guys
That's always
so
been
well.
easy. We're gonna be done soon. We got teenagers now.
That's crazy.
I'm about to shed a tear. It's
Oh,
happening
wow.
too fast.
Last thing, you said nothing's off limits, so I'm going to push one more.
Go for it.
I heard you say you would get back with Mariah once, would you?
Yes, absolutely.
You say that a lot?
It'd be stupid if I wouldn't.
That's not true. Always be my baby.
Yeah,
That's
we
about you.
belong together.
So wait, what would it take then? What would that take? What's the move?
She don't want me.
It sounds like a rom-com like you're writing. Or something. You're holding a boombox outside Mariah.
Yeah, right.
We
Like
belong
John Cusack.
It was a lighthearted conversation. With that being said, if I was Mariah, I would text Nick and say, "Nick, don't ever mention my name again." Okay? Can you imagine? Can you imagine you being the first wife, the first baby mama, and then this negroid has the nerve to go out into the world, have 5 or 6 other baby mamas, I think 12 kids, I think one, unfortunately passed away, but 12 kids, I believe, and then has the nerve, so when it's all said and done, to say, "Oh yeah, she pretty much the one I will go back to." Girl, you must have jumped out of the highest building, out of the window. Girl, you must have jumped from one of the buildings in New York City for you to even joke around and say some mess like that. You clearly had to slip and bump your noggin. Nick Cannon sounds like he's a fun person. I would never understand. I feel like I kind of understand. I think he did it just for legacy purposes, just so he could have his name live on, right? So let me go have a whole bunch of kids, and that's what it's going to be. I mean, it is what it is. The kids are here. The kids didn't ask to be here, so it's not the children's fault. We love the babies, right? But I'm sure Mariah Carey probably rolled her eyes as soon as she heard him say this. I bet you Nick has probably tried to get back with Mariah once or twice. I bet you. And probably at the beginning, Mariah probably would have been open to it. But Mariah ain't doing all that carrying on with them kids. Girl, remember? Yeah. Do y'all remember? It was an interview with, I think it was Mariah and Kevin Frazier. And girl, let me try to find this interview. Okay, so I found the clip. So basically, before I play the audio of this clip, girl, this is how you know that girl Mariah ain't fooling with Nick. I hate to say it, we love the kids. Mariah ain't fooling with them kids. So Mariah know that you must have bumped your head on one of the hardest walls in the world for you to even think that she would even get back with you. Girl, I want y'all to listen to this interview. So it was an interview between Mariah Carey and Kevin Frazier from Entertainment Tonight. This was a couple of years ago. And he brought up basically the step kids, and this will tell you everything you need to know about how Mariah feels about them kids. Okay. Oh, listen to this.
Let me ask you this. Will any of their stepbrothers or stepsisters ever get to enjoy Christmas your way? Because it's a special way.
Is it step? I don't think it's step. It's if you're not married to the person. I don't know about that. That's a different interview for you.
I hear you, Mariah. I hear you.
Mariah was basically talking about Christmas time. You know, she's the queen of Christmas. And she was talking about how she likes to celebrate Christmas. And so he was asking her, would any of her stepkids get to celebrate Christmas the way that she likes to celebrate Christmas? And Mariah let me know, girl, stepkids, step. Baby, I don't know them kids, girl. I don't hang around them kids. Girl, them kids don't come over here. When my children see their brothers, they have brothers and sisters, they be at their daddy house, and that don't be too often, girl. But them kids, them ain't my stepkids. Them ain't my stepkids. So I don't know what you're trying to talk about, Kevin. Girl, that's a whole nother interview for a whole nother day. But girl, I got 2 children. Girl, I have 2. That's it. I don't have no step nothing. I don't have no half nothing. Girl, I don't have no other kids. And ain't no kids coming to my house for Christmas. That ain't what I signed up for. Girl, good luck to them and good luck to their mamas. Girl, I don't have nothing to do with that. So, Nick, you guys will go ahead and call it quits. Mariah ain't gonna never get back with you. Honey, you got a Tribe Called Quest. Mariah ain't signing up for that. We love the kids, but Mariah said what she said and she ain't changing it. Okay? Okay, so y'all let me know what y'all think about this. And then, of course, I'll let you know what I think. So this is according to CBSNews.com. So Illinois sheriff criticized for handling a police shooting death of Sonya Macy to retire. So the downstate Illinois sheriff who received criticism over his handling of the fatal police shooting of Sonya Macy, who was unalived by a sheriff's deputy, announced he will retire by the end of the month. Sheriff Jack Campbell made the announcement on Friday, just over a month after Macy was shot and unalived by the deputy on July the 6th, Sean Grayson, and in her home outside of Springfield. The deputy, Sean Grayson, was fired from the county sheriff's office after the shooting and was charged with first degree, the M word, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct in connection with Macy's death. He has pleaded not guilty. In his announcement, Campbell called Macy's death a heartbreaking event for our community. He said the person who was truly responsible for her death is in jail, referring to Grayson. Despite these efforts, some in our community want me to pay the price for the person's actions, even threatening that I pay that price with my life, my family's life, or the lives of my deputies, Campbell said in the statement. We will only persevere together as a community if we turn down the temperature and resolve to do better. We must honor the life of Sonya Macy by ensuring that no one else falls victim to such tragic and senseless action. He added, but it has become clear that the current political climate has made it nearly impossible for me to continue effectively in my role. Some individuals would rather see our community divided and in turmoil than allow me to continue serving as sheriff. Campbell said he will retire as sheriff no later than August the 31st. And then the part that I really wanted to get to was Campbell has defended his decision to hire Sean Grayson, the deputy who shot and killed Macy early on Saturday, July the 6th, at her house outside of Springfield. He shot her when she checked on a pot of boiling water in her own kitchen, saying, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Despite 2 previous DUIs and a discharge from the U.S. Army in 2016 for serious misconduct, Grayson was hired by the county sheriff's office. Grayson has also had disciplinary foul that included accusations of bullying behavior and abuse of power. Records obtained by CBS News shows 2 of the 6 law enforcement agencies for which Grayson had worked since 2020 said he needed more training, while a third said he did not demonstrate good officer safety skills. But Campbell said earlier this month that Grayson had more training than most officers. Campbell has said the 2 DUIs in Grayson's past were not a red flag. Y'all hear all that stuff I just said? I'll put the link to the article so y'all can read it if y'all want to go. So y'all want to just double check. The sheriff previously defied calls for his resignation at one point last month, saying, "I cannot step down. I will not abandon the sheriff's office at its most critical time. That will solve nothing." Let me just say something, okay? When I saw people first calling for him to step down, there were people in the comment section on Neighborhood Talk saying that basically kind of like saying he didn't have anything to do with it, like he didn't pull the trigger. I completely disagree, and here's why. Girl, you have this man who you hired with his background to become a police officer. We already know how people act when they become cops. And then when you add in being a white man, you already think you're, girl, hello? You already think you're better than just because your skin is white. Now we about to hand you a badge and a gun? Girl, you really gonna think you're God. So you have this man, despite 2 previous DUIs and a discharge from the U.S. Army in 2016 for serious misconduct, Grayson was hired by the county sheriff's office. Grayson also had a disciplinary file that included accusations of bullying behavior and abuse of power, records obtained by CBS News shows. 2 of the 6 law enforcement agencies for which Grayson had worked since 2020 said he needed more training, while a third said he did not demonstrate good officer safety skills. And you also had the 2 DUIs. And with all that information, this sheriff still decided to hire this man. That alone should have showed him that he should have not been in the position of being a cop, a deputy, whatever he was. He should have not been given the opportunity to walk around with a badge and a gun. You are a hot ass mess, sir. So yes, and on top of that, we have someone who has died over hot water. Not she had a gun pointed at him, not she had a machete, not that his life was in danger. She said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," and that was enough for him to pull the gun and kill that woman. So anybody involved in this scenario, you gotta go. When I worked at Nordstrom, there was a big mess that happened in my department, and all 3 managers got the boot. Well, 2 out of 3 got the boot. So basically, I'm not gonna go into details of what happened, but some stuff happened, and then once it happened, 2 out of the 3 managers, they were terminated. The third manager, who really kind of didn't have anything to do with it, not really, but she probably knew something, but not really. It was a mess. They just said, "Girl, you know what? It's too hot in these streets. So what we gonna do?" They basically forced her to quit. They stripped her title away, and they basically were gonna make her like a sales associate. Girl, hello? What assistant manager is about to go back to girl from the start of it all? Most people, when you get into management, it's because you probably were a sales associate once upon a time. So she just went ahead and quit the company. So they kind of forced her to quit. So the point that I'm trying to make is, even though she didn't have anything to do with it, she kind of did, not probably, I can't get into the details, but I could, but I don't want to. She didn't. The point I'm trying to make is, girl, anybody who is even remotely connected to this situation that's happening, girl, you gotta go. And if you ain't gotta go, we're gonna force you to go. Okay? So in this situation, girl, you have someone who was unalived. So anybody connected to it, to the person who hired him, to the person who even girl recommended him, y'all all gotta go. Girl. Because somebody with this track record, again, should not be a police officer. Especially when you white. Anybody with this track record, I don't care if you black, white, Hispanic, Asian, I don't care. But we know how white people can get sometimes when they have a little bit of power. So yes, they have every right to call for that sheriff's resignation. You gotta go. You got to go. You hired him with his background. And the thing is, this is the stuff that we have access to. This is the stuff that we know. No telling what else they probably hiding. That's the real gag of it all. Anyways, child. Let me take a little sip. I'm feeling this drink. All right, but shout out to Sonya Macy and her family. And I know she had a son. I don't know if she had more than one. I think she had a son. I think she only had one kid, but she had more than one. Shout out to her kids. I hope her family is doing okay. All right, so let's move to the next story. All right, so listen to this. This is according to the Jasmine brand. So Lauryn Hill admits low ticket sales were the reason for the Fugees canceling their U.S. tour. Let me tell y'all something. La la la. Shout out to the Fugees. The Fugees, I believe, I'm almost 99.999% sure, was the very first album that I think it was a cassette tape. It wasn't an album. I think it was a tape. I just told my age. Hello? The very first album that I owned for me. And I remember I got that for Christmas from my mama and my stepdaddy. Girl, I was in love with Lauryn Hill because of Sister Act 2. Girl, I didn't know nothing about the other two. I just knew that girl that I loved in Sister Act 2 was a part of this group and she could sing. And girl, I was in love with the Fugees. And the second album that I remember getting also, I think I got these albums at the same time. Even though they came out at different times, I think I got them at the same time though. It was Fugees and Missy Elliott, Super Duper Fly. I was in middle school. Girl, when I tell you I've always been a fan of Missy Elliott, I literally have every single album of Missy Elliott's. Every single album. When I tell you, I remember Missy Elliott coming out with Super Duper Fly. And I just was like, who is this person? I felt like she was, because, at the time I was in middle school, I was going through my, and I felt like this person was different. Like, she's different. I'm different. Like, I just loved everything about Missy Elliott. I did. Even though she was a woman. You know what I'm saying? But I just saw this woman walking around in this video with a garbage bag on. Me, I'm super fly. Super duper fly. I can't stand the rain. Against my window. I can't stand the rain. Girl, when I tell you that was my girl. That was my album. Fugees. And I only listened to a few songs off that album. Girl, it really was a singles. Killing Me Softly. Girl. Foo La La La. Girl, and Ready or Not. Girl, it was the only ones I listened to. Girl, now the Missy Elliott, God, we used to wear that album out. Wear it out. Girl. My best friend say she's sick of me crying on the phone, telling how it's on me. My best friend say don't let you in my life, cause you don't do for me and you don't act right. My best friend say I'll be there for you and your time of need. You can lean on me. Come on. That was with Aaliyah. I'm about to listen to Super Duper Fly. But yeah, Super Duper Fly and Fugees were my albums. Those were my albums. And I remember getting those albums and I think they were both cassette tapes. No. I think Fugees was the cassette tape. Was at the time were they making the CDs? I can't remember. I do remember that my mama and my stepdaddy both they bought me those albums for Christmas, and I was so excited because that's all I wanted. I wanted those albums so bad. Yes. Anyways, shout out to the Fugees and shout out to I will always remember that those were my first two albums. My first two albums was Fugees and Missy Elliott, Super Duper Fly. Anyway, so Lauryn Hill has attributed the decision to cancel the Fugees reunion tour to low ticket sales caused by what she calls clickbait headlines regarding her decision to end the final stretch of a tour last fall. Lauren. So this is what some of Lauren had to say. Lauren is a wordsmith. She gonna put some words together. Last year, I faced an injury that necessitated the scheduling of some of my shows. Regrettably, some media outlets' penchant for sensationalism and clickbait headlines have seemingly created a narrative that has affected ticket sales for the North American portion of the tour. The trust and faith I have in my intentions, I want to read the whole thing because Lauren, we love Lauren, but Lauren, okay. With the difficulty, the decision was made to pull down our upcoming North American tour dates. The shows in the UK and Europe are moving forward as planned. Last year, I faced an injury that necessitated the rescheduling of some of my shows. Regrettably, some media outlets' penchant for sensationalism and clickbait headlines have seemingly created a narrative that has affected ticket sales for the North American portion of the tour. The trust and faith I have in my intentions and my commitment to my art seem to have been overshadowed by this unfortunate portrayal. Basically, what it sounds like to me is, Lauren, baby, you be late. People ain't got time, and people catching on to the scam. People got to get up and go to work in the morning. People got to go home and fuck their man. People got to go home and go get their kids ready. People got to go home and get themselves ready for work in the morning. People got to go home and pack lunch. Girl, people got a lot of stuff to do. And ain't nobody got time to be going to no concert. And girl, y'all be wanting to start an hour and 2 and 3 late like ain't nobody else got nothing else to do. It's inconsiderate. And I don't care if it's food. I don't care if it's the Fugees, Beyonce, Madonna. I don't care. It's inconsiderate. You have you're not worried about nobody else's time except your own. I done got worked up. The audiences in the UK and Europe The audiences in the UK and Europe not only haven't seen the Miseducation anniversary performance yet, they also haven't seen the Fugees perform together in over 25 years. Performing for my fans is a profound exchange of energy and emotion that excites me every time. Every show is a piece of my expression and testament to our connection and shared love for music. I can assure you that no one is more disappointed about not being able to perform than I am. Know that I am not only grateful for those who appreciate and support my art, but that I fight and push through all kinds of resistance to put together experiences that mean something for all of us. I love being able to bring those performances to you. I appreciate your understanding. We're looking forward to performing at the shows in the UK and Europe in October. And for our fans in North America, when these unforeseen circumstances are resolved, we'll be back in full force. With love, respect, and honesty, MLH. Girl, last year you were forced to reschedule some of your shows. That's what she said. Girl, the people be thinking you be late, Lauren. Every time I look up, they say you late. You late. You rescheduling shows. Girl, ain't nobody got time for that. Do y'all? I don't. I was pissed off when I went to Beyonce's concert. Well, I wasn't pissed off. We'd already figured it out. But Beyonce, when she was at the Renaissance concert, Beyonce was popping up 2 hours late. Sure was. Sure was. Sure was. Girl, Brittany, my friend Brittany, her and I think Deanna, my other friend, they were at the Beyonce concert, I think at 6:30. Because they drove and parked. And thinking that I think the concert was scheduled to start at 8, I believe. And Miss Thing didn't float her narrow black ass from down bottom until about 9:50. But we had already called wind the night before. We'd already heard rumors that she wasn't coming out to 2 hours late anyways. And then the night before in Houston, she didn't come out until like the same time. So we took a chance. Now, girl, we took a chance. Now, we would have got there, the concert would have been over. Girl, we would have been pissed. But we took a chance. We was like, girl, she probably not coming out. And she didn't come out. And it's so crazy because as soon as we walked in, we got to the concert probably around, because we left my best friend's house, because we met up at his house and we had drinks and food and all that stuff. And then we got to the NRG Stadium probably around 9 something. It was 9 something. By the time we made it in, we had stopped by the concession stand, got those expensive ass drinks, some popcorn, went to the restroom. We were standing outside, and honey, girl, we heard everybody screaming. Girl, so we was scared. We literally, like, we made it, like, it was just enough time for us to go to the restroom, get some drinks. We probably were standing around for about 5 minutes. And then that's when people started screaming, because I think that's when the lights went down. I can't remember. I wasn't in there when, you know, but by the time we made it in, girl, she was floating up. Girl, that's when we caught our life. Okay, then that bitch was 2 hours late. But girl, don't get it twisted. Baby, Miss Sing, baby, I was in there crying. I was in there popping my fan. I was in there, girl, tip, 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 ho, applause. 10, 10, 10s across. Girl, okay. Bitch, when I tell you, girl, the way I was acting, you would have thought I was in the restroom and I went and took a bump. Hello? Baby, the way I was cutting up and queening out and acting a plumb fool. Just a fool for no reason. Girl, you would have thought, baby, the way I was acting, you would have thought that I went to the restroom and did a couple lines. Okay? That's how much of a fool I was acting. Girl, just no sense at all. Just no sense. Just embarrassing. Anyways. All right, y'all, I'm gone. Shout out to the Fugees. Girl, y'all need to get it together. Lauren, you need to get it together. Hello? Shout out to Missy Elliott. That's my girl. Doom, doom. Me, I'm super fly. Okay? Super duper fly. I can't stand the rain. Okay? Bye, y'all.